Hey everyone, welcome to the Breaking It Downs podcast. I am your host, Julie Downs, joined by my husband and co host, Greg. And Greg, we are about to kick off week 5 of the NFL slate. But before we go ahead and do that, why don't we break down all of the craziness, the wild finish in the game from Thursday night?
So you mean everyone wasn't expecting the Niners to win without Brock Purdy, their top receivers? They're in LA against a really good Rams team?
Yeah, we definitely both had that all wrong.
Well, no, we did take the cover correctly.
All
We
right,
took
all right.
San Fran with the points just because division rivalry, McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But yeah, great game. Overtime went down to the wire, as we just alluded to, beleaguered 49er squad with Mac Jones out, Mac Jones in for Brock Purdy, top receivers out, hung in there, gave up a late lead, took the lead in OT, 4th and 1, interesting call. Sean McVay, the Rams coach, it was pretty vanilla. They stopped it. He admitted he didn't like the call. Mac Jones played really well, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. And you have to, if I had to give a synopsis of the game, you have to kind of give a game ball to the offensive line because they only gave up 1 sack against a really good Rams front, one of the best in the league. That's how he was able to have time to do that. Really great win for the VFW and Bobby's 49ers. Great job.
All right. Turning to the Sunday spot. And speaking of spots, we're going to kick it off with a spot of tea in London, where the Minnesota Vikings, they are 3.5 point favorites over the Cleveland Browns at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Tottenham Hotspur. Aye.
What?
Cup of tea. Let's have a cup of football. So, back in the UK, where we have quite a few injured blokes for the Vikings. Start there. JJ McCarthy is still out. Carson Wentz will be under center. The offensive line is really banged up. That would obviously cause a potential problem for which one of the quarterbacks were under center. O line's not in good shape. Cleveland. Dylan Gabriel era looks like it's begun. He's starting for Joe Flacco. Offense has struggled, to put it mildly. The D line has been excellent. The D has held up well. That's what you're looking at.
I am going to give the cover to Cleveland and the win to the Vikings.
I'm going to take an outright upset here. Browns. I don't like the fact that Wentz will not have potentially good protection against Myles Garrett, Mason Graham, and a fierce D line. I believe these games are won in the trenches. Their offense can't be worse. Gabriel offers something new. Give me the Browns.
All right. And give me back stateside where let's talk about Danny Dimes. My goodness, the Colts, they are 6.5 point favorites at home versus the Vegas Raiders.
So I'll start with Vegas. Injured blokes once again. Colton Miller, the left tackle, he was placed on injured reserve. That's never a good thing. Top corner, Eric Stokes, sprained knee. Nice win last week. They blocked a field goal against the Bears in the last second to ice the victory. Nice job by Vegas. Indy, Julie Lutu, great start. Not only Danny Dimes, Jonathan Taylor is playing like an all-world running back. And interestingly enough, they lost a tough game at the Rams. But my overall impression leaving that was they played pretty damn well. And if it weren't for Donnie Mitchell fumbling the ball out of the back of the end zone on a stupid play, a holding penalty that took back a touchdown, they easily could have won that game. Really good start for Indy.
And I'm going to continue drinking that Danny Dimes Kool-Aid. Give me the Colts cover win.
100 times on dimes. I agree. Put the shillings on the Colts.
Yeah, it's
Cover
also
and
my
win.
survivor pick this week. So,
Cover and win.
all right, to New Orleans, where the Aints are surprisingly 2.5 point favorites over the Super Bowl bound G-Men coming off of their first win of the season, Greg.
Well, the G-Men, is there any other story than obviously they are back Super Bowl bound?
Anyway, whatever. Just
There's
because
not.
your Yankees are in the playoffs and
Oh, don't worry. We'll get to that one.
Giants are
We'll get to
Super
that
Bowl
one.
bound,
Don't you
whatever.
worry, Lassie. Great start for Dart, really was. Not prolific numbers, but showed a spark in that offense. He could get out of the pocket. That's been a severe gaping hole for the Giants offense, especially with a line that's not been the best. Good job. Crushing loss. Malik Neighbors, we talked about. Wednesday night. He's out for the season. That's going to hurt. Impressive, the D-line, put a lot of pressure on Herbert. I think that's going to be the calling card of their season. I think their D should be pretty good. The New Orleans Saints, Spencer Rattler, been okay at quarterback, nothing great. Winless start to the season. I said before the year, I still hold to that. They're not the worst team I've ever seen, but they don't do anything particularly good either. This could be not the best game on the slate today.
Well, you're going to be happy with my pick here. I'm going to go upset. Give me the G-Men with the cover and the win.
As much as we know this Giants are Super Bowl bound, as we've talked about this endlessly.
You ain't picking them.
Oh no, I am. But here's my general rule. I do think this is a low scoring. I don't necessarily think how do they adjust without Neighbors. Defenses are going to structure themselves differently against the Giants. General principle, I can't lay points with a really bad team. They're laying 2.5 points. Give me the Giants, their D-line, the best unit on the field. Give me the G-Men to win.
Okay.
Not the most exciting.
Onto the Jets. They are at home, 1.5 point underdogs versus Dallas, those winless Jets.
So we'll start with the Jets. Another bad loss of Miami. Positive, they did move the ball well. Fields was back. Passing game played well. Bad news, one of their two running backs, Braylon Allen, they have a solid 1-2 punch. He's out for 8 to 12 weeks. That's not going to help. Bad mental mistakes. They caught a punt at the 2, which basically there's no point whatsoever to do that. You let that go in the end zone. You're asked for a mistake. It's not smart play by the Jets. Cowboys, they basically have two different teams on the field. Their offense scored 40. They've been good every week. Their defense gave up 40.
Yeah.
They might as well drink it, Colt 45, because but seriously, they can score even without CeeDee Lamb, who's probably out again. The defense is absolutely horrible. It's been that way against everybody. So interesting game.
Yeah, give me Dallas here, cover win.
I'm going to take the Jets here. I liked what Fields did. I think he can do a lot against that Cowboys offense. Give me the Jets. I'm going to take a slight upset. Yeah, Cowboys are nothing special. There you go, Blues Cap. Okay. Good for you.
Heading to the city of brotherly love, where the Eagles are 4.5 point favorites over the Denver Broncos.
So the Eagles 4-0. We know that. Interesting game last week. So if you looked early and tuned out, which would make sense, they had a huge lead in the game. It's the Eagles undefeated. You figure they roll. They were not good in the second half. Tampa got this way too close. Crazy stat. Philly got 0 yards passing in the second half. Now, granted, they were running the ball a lot. They were trying to eat clock, but A.J. Brown, their star receiver, he's disgruntled again. He was throwing out cryptic tweets about, if I'm not important, I don't need to be heard. Drama you don't need. 4-0 start, but there's also a little luck involved. That blocked field goal, Jalen Carter a few weeks ago. I won't say they're obviously good. I won't say it's the most impressive 4-0. The Broncos, their best overall effort Monday night against Cincinnati. The D's been consistent throughout. Bo Nix and the offense looked as good as they've been all year. Really nice effort from the Broncos. This had a chance to be a good one.
Okay, give me the Broncos with the cover and the Eagles squeak out their 5th win.
I really like what the Broncos are doing, and I do try to find reasons to pick against the Eagles. The Eagles, we actually went with them last week. I think this is a good spot for Denver. I don't think Philly's going undefeated. They better not. It'll be really miserable. I think this is loss number 1. Give me the Broncos in an upset.
All right. Heading to Carolina, where I think they're still reeling off of their loss from last week to my Pats, but they are 1.5 point underdogs at home versus Miami.
So Miami got off the schneid. The offense looked a bit better. Mind you, it was against the Jets. We talked about it earlier. It was dampened by a brutal injury to Tyreek Hill. He's out for the year. That's obviously not going to hurt. The D, their D reminds me of Dallas. They were not great in this game. The Jets moved the ball. They did cause a fumble inside the 5, basically at the goal line, which pretty much won the game. One good note for them, Darren Waller, a talented tight end. He's had issues on and off the field. He basically retired for a year. First game back last week in a year plus, he had 2 touchdowns. Very talented kid. Carolina, Julie just alluded to, they got trounced by the Pats last week. They went up 6-0. Even when they did things good, they missed the extra point. All Pats from there on out. Bryce Young and a bad note for Carolina. Not throwing the book at him, saying he's done. He seems to have regressed. That offense didn't look good. Chuba Hubbard, their lead running back, who is a talented kid, will be out. Rico Dowdle, ex-running back for the Cowboys, he will take over the reins. Yeah.
Okay, Miami cover win.
I'm gonna go Carolina. I just flat out Miami's D stinks. I don't trust them. Tyreek Hill gone. I think Carolina bounces back with a win at home over Miami.
Okay, to Baltimore, where we have a matchup between two pretty disappointing teams so far. We have the 1-3 Houston Texans. They are 2.5-point favorites at the 1-3, surprisingly 1-3 Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, Julie just touched on there's no way if you would have looked at this matchup, you would have thought probably 3-1 each, two favorites in the conference. Not been the case. I'll start with Baltimore. More battered blokes. As we talk about London here. Lamar is out, officially ruled out a little while ago. Cooper Rush, old backup for Dallas. Not the worst backup, but obviously not Lamar Jackson. Ronnie Stanley, star tackle, he's out. Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey on the D, two big-time defensive players, they're out. Matabuke, they star D-line. The grit and the grind, he's on IR. Houston, 1-3. They did get a nice win last week, mind you, over a bad Tennessee team. Shutout, which is impressive. The D's been good. I would say solid note for them. The run game was non-existent. Woody Marks has pretty much emerged as a lead back. He looks to have given a spark to Houston. Yeah.
I'm going to go upset. It's crazy that Baltimore are the underdogs, but I'm going Baltimore with a cover in the win.
Yeah, as much as I mention all the Ravens out, I still like Harbaugh. I don't the Texans' offensive language, but there's just too many pieces out for me. I'll take the Texans with a field goal win over Baltimore. Crazy to think that was my Super Bowl pick.
You're going against the home team then.
I am. I just think there's too much on both sides to overcome. I'm going to go Houston.
All right, on to the late block on Sunday afternoon, where we start in Arizona. The Cardinals, they are 7.5-point favorites over the Tennessee Titans.
So, Tennessee, rough start for Cam Ward and the Titans. They're not doing much of anything very well. Star receiver Calvin Ridley's banged up. One bright spot, Tyjae Spears, who's part of a two-headed running back committee. He will offer spark. He should be back, but terrible start for Tennessee all the way around. Arizona, very tough loss to Seattle last Thursday. They do have some extra rest heading in this game. If you watch the game, offense was completely non-existent until the fourth quarter, late in it. All of a sudden, Kyler Murray to Marvin Harrison looked like we thought it would be from week one. Concerned top two running backs, Trey Benson's now out. James Conner already ruled out for the year. That's an issue. You have to worry if they become one-dimensional. The D has been solid overall. Did a nice job forcing stops against Seattle. It's kind of what we're looking at.
Give me Tennessee with the cover and Arizona with the win.
I think that's great. I think that 7.5 is a lot. Tennessee's not showing anything, but I did bring that concern. I'm with you. Cover Tennessee, Arizona win.
Okay. To the Pacific Northwest, where the Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So Tampa, we talked about Philly last week. Down huge, rallied from a big deficit. Defense played very well in the second half. Good sign. Injury concerns, a lot of them. Bucky Irving, the star running back, he's out. Mind you, Rashad White, the backup, Sean Tucker. They do have decent backup running backs. Mm-hmm. Mike Evans is still out. The O-line is banged up. They have guys out. That's a problem. Seattle, basically the Seabags, very nice start. Sam Darnold looks to be a capable hand. I think this is a very underrated team. Their D is solid. Offense is two good running backs. Tough place to play.
Tough place to play for sure. Give me...
Tough game.
Give me the Seahawks cover win.
I'm going to take the Bucks to cover that 3.5. Baker can play. I could see bad Sam Darnold coming out. I do think the Seahawks win, though. I think their defense will prevail at home. but I think Baker keeps it close.
Okay. All right. On to Cincinnati, where the Bengals, the Conrad Fisherless, the Joe Burrowless Bengals, 10.5 point favorites at home to Detroit.
Wait, Conrad Fisher less? Did he like join the shadow or something?
The season's over.
Well,
He's off of our screens. Haven't you been listening to a word I say? Clearly not.
do we know what the answer to that is?
Well, I don't listen to you either. So
Okay. Well, Cincy. Start with Cincy by Conrad. And they're getting close to bye to the season. Granted, they're 2-2, but two very ugly losses the last 2 weeks. At Denver, at Minnesota the week before, where they earned the paper bag. Jake Browning, who has looked good in the past, has not looked good at all the last 2 weeks. So two very bad losses for the Bengals, not doing much right at all. Detroit, opening week loss to Green Bay, three very impressive wins the next 3 weeks. And something I like even more about that, they played a prolific offense against Baltimore. They could win in that type of affair. They played a very good Cleveland defensive front, better than people realize. They won in a lower scoring affair. So I think Detroit has shown themselves to be pretty well-rounded. That's what I'll leave you with.
as well-rounded as Detroit is, I think 10.5 is a lot. Give me the Bengals to cover and Detroit to win handily.
I agree with you. 10.5 points as a home underdog is a huge and one factor about the Browning two games, they were both on the road. It's different at home. I think the Bengals will show a better effort. They do enough to cover. Detroit still wins.
Okay, back out west to LA, where the Chargers are 3.5 point favorites over the Washington Commanders.
So I will start with the Chargers. Tough loss for them last week, but I mean, how could the different outcome been any different? It was against the Super Bowl bound G-Men, right? But on a serious note, one they have shown an area of big concern there. Sean Slater's start tackle was out before the year started. They lost their new left tackle, Joe Alt, who's excellent as well. Gave up significant pressure to the Giants and Denver, even in the win the week prior. So that's shown to be a concern for the Chargers. Washington, it looks like Jaden Daniels will be back, expected to play. And as much as I hate Washington, their D line has been pretty solid. Their D looks to be a pretty proficient unit this year.
Okay. Washington covers, Chargers win.
I'm going to go Washington outright upset here as much as I don't want to. The O-line concerns are significant to me. Still like the Chargers overall, but that's a tough thing to follow with Jaden Daniels and coming to town.
Okay. On to Buffalo, where for the Sunday night game, where my Pats, they are 8.5 point underdogs versus the Buffalo Bills at home.
So I'll start with the good news for the Pats. It was a very good effort against Carolina. Thorough win minus a slow start, I'll give it, but the rest of the way they were totally in control. Drake May is looking the part so far. He's putting up big-time numbers. He looks to be getting a grasp of the offense of Josh McDaniels. I would say things overall are pointing up for the Pats, even in a loss to Pittsburgh the week prior. They played actually very well. They just turned the ball over too much. That's going to beat anyone. Buffalo. We'll start in with Josh Allen. And that's not the only thing they have, but this will come down to can the Pats defense do enough to slow them down? You're not going to shut down Josh Allen. Can they do enough to keep it interesting? I'll give you one thing if you want to have some faith in. The Bills' last 5 divisional games, if we're talking for all the shillings out there, 1-4 against the spread. Buffalo has been beating teams pretty good so far, though.
I am going to go Pats cover, Buffalo wins by a touchdown.
That's pretty good synopsis. I think New England will not get their doors blown off, but I don't think they win. Buffalo stays undefeated.
To Jacksonville for the Monday night finale, where the Kansas City Chiefs are 3.5 point favorites on the road at Jacksonville.
So we'll start with KC. Huge win versus Baltimore last week. Xavier Worthy back for the offense, gives them that deep threat, changes the way you have to play them, and it showed. Their offense for the first time all year did look like the old Mahomes offense. Very, very nice and needed win for KC. Jacksonville, this is a team I thought was on the upstart this year. So far, they've proved me right. 3-1, total different team, better coached. Big win at San Fran last week, who showed their mettle in that win just Thursday. So San Fran's decent, nice win. Concerning Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas connection, it's not what we would think would have been at this point.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, top draft pick. I think he will be fine. Playing both ways, he hasn't made a significant impact yet, but the D has been significantly improved, causing a lot of turnovers. I'll give you.
And I'm going to give you the Chiefs win. Cover win.
You're not afraid of the hooks? The 3.5 again, huh?
No.
I'm gonna take that extra half point. I think Jacksonville will play well enough to keep it close. I think KC will win. Jacksonville covers.
Right. It's paper bag time, Greg, and I'm gonna let you go and grab your paper bag because I don't see it there.
That is a good point. So, Julie, why don't you talk about Conrad Fisher for a second? Because I realized I do have a Carolina bag waiting. It's not right here.
It is not right there. So, spoiler alert, it is
going
to be the Carolina Panthers. You know, they didn't play so well last week. I was very happy by their performance last week, given that it was against my Patriots. As Greg alluded to, you really got to see Mac Jones show off his chops, but Carolina certainly did not show off anything. And Greg will break down with his paper bag rant.
I can't even grab the right one right now. The paper bag. Maybe I get the paper bag this week.
Panthers.
No, Carolina is not. Let's give it to the Panthers anyway. I know, but I want to give it to Tennessee.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Well, how about that? You know, Carolina stunk too. Let's give Carolina one. How about that? They got pounded by your Pats.
I think Greg deserves the paper bag.
I get the paper bag too, but listen. Carolina did get blown out, so they're going to get one. Tennessee, I don't want to forget about you. So we're going to go to Tennessee, and I'll get a bag with them. We'll give out 3 bags this week.
Oh.
So Tennessee, the Titans should be the Titanic's sinking ship right now. Not looking good. Cam Ward, the number 1 pick, just over 100 yards, interception, not good. 10th straight loss going back to last year. Brian Callen, the coach, I can say he's vicious on the hot seat. 3-18 as his overall record. And the bigger concern on a serious note is you expected them to not be good this year, but if they show no progress, and this looks like Cam Ward doesn't have any and they're regressing, they're putting him in danger. Tennessee, they get a bag, but Carolina, you do too, and I will as well. Let's give out 3 this week. How about that?
Greg sure gets it.
How about that?
How about that? Well, just for that, I'm going to make you ride solo on the couch on Sunday to watch. I know it really sounds like a punishment, right?
Whoa.
To watch the NFL slate, because I'm actually going to head out for a girls' brunch with Yumi. So there you go, Greg. There's your punishment.
Need to have a second of cheers. Well,
I
will miss Julie, but that does sound great. I'm out I'll get some ball games. I will be back watching football. That sounds great. Not only that, the Yankees start the divisional series. On a serious note, so let me say, as the sporting people we are, was down at Yankee Stadium last night, an amazing performance. Win over the Red Sox, Julie's Red Sox. You'll be happy with this.
Which is why I'm leaving on Sunday. I don't want to hear him.
We did actually, so it's funny, we met a lot of couples that were like you and I. One Red Sox fan, one Yankee fan. I was very clear, we're very polite. We said, we cannot wish you luck, but we do wish you a good time at our home. And they felt that was very nice. Everyone had a good time. I do want to give a quick shout out to Mikey B for getting the tickets. We had a wonderful time. Him, his son, great kid, Ben, truly a great experience. Yankee Stadium brings back some of the best memories of my life. It felt like that again. It was really cool. I'm not trying to rub it in. I mean that in a gracious and a good way. And I'll be back in Sunday.
Wrap it up, buddy.
I just did. Football Sunday, Yankee baseball. The world is good.
All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. One of us, maybe 2 of us, will be back next week. It depends on how much Greg yells at the TV and how much he drives me crazy. But
count on both of those. One more quick
Oh,
note.
Lord. Of
No,
course.
hold on.
Yes.
Mayor Paulie Fowler out there
Oh, congratulations.
renewed his wedding vows. So a big shout out to Paulie. He will squeeze in watching the podcast, even with his wedding celebrations. And happy birthday to Lorelai. And yeah.
That's right.
There you go.
Happy birthday, Lai. We're heading up your way next weekend. So get ready, girl.
So that's all you have, Julie?
That's all I have.
Me too. Happy football, everyone.
All right. Bye.